What's up? This is Rebel Radio.
What up? What up? This is DJ Newmark.
This is Peanut Butter Wolf.
It's your boy. It's okay.
Keep checking out Rebel Radio.
Rebel Radio.
This is Rebel Radio.
We're in the place right here. Rebel Radio is going down.
Would you say Rebel Radio?
Oh, wait. Let's do it again.
Rebel Radio.
So EDM.com is our partner in this show. If you're not familiar with EDM.com, it's the world's largest curator of anything electronic dance music. They have dozens of subgenres and different styles of dance music and even hip hop and pop, all kind of stuff on that site. So go over there and check it out. I think you'll like it, and let us know what you think.
All right, let's rock and roll.
All right, well, thanks for being here. Welcome back to Rebel Radio. Our guest today in our special West Side studio.
This is nice, actually.
Yeah, thanks. This is our office. We usually record out of Hollywood, but it's fun to do it by the beach.
West Side is the best side.
Absolutely. We're 2 blocks from the beach.
Yeah,
Which we never go see.
That's the right distance from.
I come every day. I ride up the beach.
Oh, that's right.
That's how I get to work.
You're good. You're good at that.
It's great. It's the best commute in the world, man. On the bike.
I believe it.
Can't beat it, dude.
So our guest today is Tuxedo.
Woo!
Mayer Hawthorne, Jake One.
Yes.
Thanks for being here.
Ho!
Glad to have you guys. I'm excited to hear, what's the latest. I know we've known each other and done a bunch of work together over the years. We don't know you as well, so we're excited to learn what's up with Jake One. But thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Good to be here. Glad we could finally make it happen.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely. So Tuxedo is a collaboration between the two of you. It's one of a couple side projects for Mayer Hawthorne.
He has like 5 other albums coming.
One of many.
Next year.
Yeah.
Hey, I like a lot of different styles of music.
He's got a polka one dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about
record.
What's that?
Going back to my Jewish roots. Dropping my klezmer record.
Nice. You got to do that. Got to keep it real.
Yeah, my bubby's gonna love that one. It's her favorite.
Hey man, you got to do something for the family, of course.
You got to keep them happy.
So talk maybe a little bit about how that works, how you switch gears, and from a business perspective, why is that a good idea?
From a business perspective, I don't know if it is a good idea. But for my sanity, it's just so important.
Yeah.
I listen to every. I mean, I really do probably have some klezmer records at home. Like I listen to every kind of music in the world, and I love it all so much. And
He really does, actually.
yeah, I'm not. I mean. Jake is a little more focused when he goes to the record store. He goes to the soul section.
It doesn't take me that long.
Yeah, he's like, okay, I'm done. And I'm like, wait, I didn't go through the Brazilian records yet, and I didn't go through the the punk rock stuff yet. So
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I love it all, and it's sort of a gift and a curse, I guess.
Well, so how does it affect then, like? Sort of how does each project affect whatever you do after that? Like, so you're working on Tuxedo now. You're also working on a Mayer Hawthorne record,
I am
right?
working on my next solo record right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I feel like when I'm able to sort of, I don't know, if I'm just so schizophrenic, I guess, when it comes to making music that like, if I'm forced to focus on one thing for too long, I get frustrated with it, and I need the other outlets, to get that sort of, it helps me to go back and, making a Tuxedo record helps me tremendously to go back and get, back into a Mayer Hawthorne solo record. It's just,
And we did a lot of the album while he was recording all
Right.
3 of his
Yeah,
solo
I mean,
albums. So
we've been working on the Tuxedo thing for 6 years or something. I mean, it's
so it was kind of he would.
It's been such a long time.
So how did it finally come together?
Well, it just got to a point where he was putting out where does this door go, right? It's just called. And initially, he wanted to use some of the songs for that album.
We
from
just
Tuxedo.
got tired of sitting on them.
And then
for
it just
so long.
it just became time, like, okay, we got to do some of these records. So
right.
that's when we just came up with
we
the
had like
idea.
20 songs, Tuxedo
Yeah.
songs that we had just recorded over a period of years, just getting together a couple weeks at a time.
And so, there's a couple factors. There was, the records were starting to get old to us.
Right.
And then, Get Lucky came out, and these other ones came out, and we were kind of like, damn, we don't want to look like we were late on this. Like, we've been doing it.
We were so ahead of the game.
We were ahead of the game. So,
Yeah.
and even just seeing the success of those, like, okay, maybe it's time for people are ready for this.
Right. It just felt like the right time. Yeah.
So we just, we put out the 3 songs and tested it, and that kind of let us know, yeah, we need to get that whole album.
Yeah. Why do you think that happens? I mean, obviously, so Tuxedo explores a kind of a specific era in funk.
It's very very specific. It's a really niche.
January
period.
of 1982.
Right. It's like it really is like a very short window of time that it references it.
Yeah. And then, Mayer Hawthorne sort of references.
Yeah, it's a little broader, yeah.
Absolutely. But, it started kind of with Motown, right?
Right.
And then expanded beyond that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Mayer Hawthorne is definitely a little broader range. Tuxedo is more focused.
Sure.
Which is fun. I mean, it makes it easier actually.
Yeah, because at this point we really know exactly what we're going for.
We just have it down now, yeah. I mean,
at first we really didn't.
It took a while to figure that out, but...
So what was that process like?
It was just a lot of, trial and error,
yeah,
I think.
There's songs on the album that we cut in 2008 or 9 at first that just weren't right. The beat wasn't right. He wasn't singing right.
I think the big breakthrough, I feel like, was when I realized that I needed to just sing in my normal style. Because initially I was approaching the vocals, more like the groups that we were referencing.
He was trying to sing like he had a jerry curl.
Right. And it just didn't work, I'm just not that guy, so, I was 2 years old in 1981. And
I think that's what really also made it our thing.
Well, yeah, once I realized that I should just sing, just be me on, and that like, not only did that make the whole project click, it also turned it into something new that was more interesting.
Did you get feedback along the way that you needed to try it in your voice, and it was hard for you to?
I don't know. Everybody.
It's funny. Everybody loved all the versions
just loved
of
it, no matter what. Like we'd play the songs for everybody, and it was just so unanimous. Like everybody loved the Tuxedo.
And it's like last year when the album finally came out. Or I guess it's this year, right? There'd be people that heard it in 2010 or 9. Like Jazzy Jeff called me and was like, "Are these the same songs?"
We ended up going back and redoing a lot of them.
A lot of things we changed.
Yeah, we just because once we figured out the formula, it was just like that's it. We knew it. It was like this is right.
Awesome.
So you guys are. You're both producers,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then obviously you perform, and you both DJ. And
right. We were both DJs first.
Yeah.
Which is like something that a lot of people don't even realize.
It's a little rare now. Now you're supposed to get like on a TV show and then you start
become
DJing.
a DJ. Yeah.
Right.
We
both came from that. I DJ'd for a decade before I even released my first album.
Yeah, let's tell that story because Jackson's sitting over there in the corner.
Right.
And I know that, I'm sure the story's been told before, but I still love it, right? That, you were his DJ.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and so,
we were
tell us about how
we were part of a hip-hop group called Now On, and that's how I ended up moving out to Los Angeles in the first place. I actually got outvoted. I wanted to move to the Bay.
Yeah.
And Jackson and Mike Demps, the third member of the group, they voted for LA and they outvoted me.
Yeah, you're lucky. So you guys came out a trio.
Yeah.
Came to LA.
But yeah, we were making rap music. I'm still, I love rap music.
You don't love rap music.
I do. I don't like rap life.
He's
What's
steering
rap
clear
life?
of
I'm anti-rap life.
all the stuff that I have to be involved in. You
Well,
know, being a
what's rap
producer.
life?
Rap life is
Like 30 guys.
rap life is
rolling
just
blunts in
not
the
having your
studio.
shit together, is what it is.
Everybody being late.
Right.
Nobody paying anybody.
Exactly. That's rap life.
Coach flights.
That's funny.
So do you guys like the rap music that's being made today?
I like a lot of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Like
it.
what?
There is a lot of good. I loved the Race Remembered record.
Yeah,
That was
that
like
album's
one of my
really good.
favorite records of the year. No
What
Type
else?
and
Yeah, they
And,
got a bunch of hits. I like a lot of underground stuff like Dom Kennedy.
Throw
and,
Some Mo.
You know, there's a lot of different guys. Big Crit. I think the Kendrick album's great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I thought the Kendrick album was really good for music.
But I think it's just like any other era. Like there's bad and good. You know, you just
Right.
have to.
Yeah.
Sometimes the things being put in your face aren't necessarily the good things. But you know, shit. When we were kids, MC Hammer was the hottest shit on TV. So
Right?
you know, they weren't playing NWA on regular MTV. So
No, they were not.
Can we go back to the different roles you guys play in music? Singer, producer, songwriter, audio engineer, rapper. Are any of these more challenging than others?
I mean, for me, the biggest challenge in Tuxedo is just going up and playing keyboards live. By far, everything else.
Yeah,
is,
the live stuff
I've
is
been
something
doing-
that we've been kind of breaking him into. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's not-
I've never played keys live, so it's like it's been a challenge, but it's been
Yeah.
fun. It's actually gone a lot better than I would have thought. So
Yeah, I know he's
I'm starting to get the hang of it.
You look great in the videos.
Yeah, well,
Every-
yeah, that's some good.
every time we
good
Video's not quite
Vanillion.
live.
Right.
every time we go to do like learn something new live or something that new that he has to play, he's always like, man, I'm never gonna get this. I can't do it. And then like, 2 hours later, he's like, yeah, I'm in there, and he's like doing the dance and doing it at the same time.
Are
And,
you hyping?
Sure.
Are you hyping him up?
he's
It's more just playing keys. Yeah,
he's got it. He's good.
you know, it's like when you play with a band, you kind of you're forced to get in line. Like, I think if I'm just playing by myself to a track or something, it's not the same. But the energy of the band kind of forces you to figure it out, and it helps you. You know.
Yeah, you just gotta. As long as you look like you know what you're doing up there.
That's important too. Yeah. Because some of our better shows, I feel like I was making mistakes, but nobody even noticed.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
it's
that's how
pretty
it should
rare
be.
that anybody ever notices. Really,
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny, but like, 99% of the people that are watching the show are they're more watching than they are listening.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like
Right.
mostly about just your confidence up there.
Yeah, I mean, they're not critics,
How
right?
you're
They're there to
feeling.
enjoy themselves.
As long as you're having fun
Right.
on stage, then everybody that's watching you is gonna have fun with you.
So how does that experience for both of you go from DJing to performer, right? Like how does your experience as a DJ inform what you do up on stage now?
It definitely helps when we go to make songs, I think, because, as a DJ, your whole job is to make people dance,
Yeah.
It's, or to, at least to keep the party going, that's your job as a DJ, is to,
And I think
Yeah.
even specifically for this project, we've done a ton of DJ gigs now, and
Yeah.
even creating like the new music for the new record. In my mind, I'm thinking, all right,
Right.
how's this gonna work? And I'm testing out tracks that I make. In our DJ gigs, like if they've never heard it and they're still dancing to it, then
we just
Yeah,
have
yeah, you get
we
like
just
all
have
this
such a
feedback.
good feel at this point for we rarely ever even prepare for a DJ set. We
Right.
we just show up and we
Right, really
we're such
DJ.
veterans at it. We look at the crowd and we
you'd be
we
like, oh, this is what
feel
we're
the
going to.
vibe out and we're like, all right, here, this is what's gonna work right now.
Because some nights, you can go a little deeper than others.
Right.
Some crowds are,
you
willing
never
to-
know until you get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really don't know until you get there.
You ever
Right.
wrong? You ever wrong about that?
Yeah, but there's always certain
happens.
songs that bring you back.
Yeah,
you got to know those.
We got a couple
Right.
get out of jail free cards. And
That's a really important part.
that's
of DJ.
important. That's an important part of knowing knowing your music too. Yeah.
Sure.
Is knowing when to get out and how you can get out.
Yeah.
What's gonna save you right now?
We've only had one experience where I felt like we really failed. We were in Europe on our first DJ run, and when the album came out, we tried to give them a little too much G-funk. It was going.
We're
The
both
first hour
like-
was going so
It
good,
was so good, yeah.
and then
We really
as soon
had
as they
it.
heard some rapping, they were just out. Like it was
Immediately out.
crazy.
In London?
This was in
No, where was that?
Rotterdam.
Yeah.
It was the last gig of
the
our
Netherlands, I think.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah, that's not really the crowd.
They were not
They're
feeling
not
it.
feeling it, man. We're just, it's so hard for us too because we're such huge fans of the G-Funk.
I feel like if I like it, they need to like it, you know.
Right.
Like, and sometimes
we're trying to
do that,
educate
you know?
people too, you know, a little bit. You know, we're trying to introduce people to things that maybe they are not
Yeah.
used to, you know.
And,
Maybe they
and
don't
to
know.
us, like the natural progression is our album was made with the influence of G-Funk.
Right.
And G-Funk comes from the music that you're dancing to.
Right.
So it's all kind of the same.
It's all the
So
same
You should be able to
thing.
dance, but they start hearing some rap and,
They're out.
you know.
Some places it works, and you know, yeah, some places.
So we
it's
kind
just
of
a
had to
disaster.
make our own version of that and take the rappers out of there. And only have Nate Dogg.
Right.
Right.
What's the best thing about working together?
I think for me, it's just like I've never been in a group, so just
Yeah,
having something that's like our
Yeah.
thing is just interesting to me.
That's
Like,
really
I
a
just-
great thing for me too.
I've never
is
done
just
that before.
Being a solo artist for the past, 5 years or whatever, it's it gets lonely, man. It's nice to be part of a group again,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and just to have like somebody that is on the same page as you, to bounce ideas off of is just nice.
Yeah.
Are there
Somebody to tell you when you cross that fine line between keeping it G and Kenny G.
right?
Yeah, it can go there.
Are there any artists, like, I'm sure you've said no to artists, working with artists before, but, like, what's the reason why you would say no to an artist?
For me as a producer, there haven't been that many people I've said no to, but, sometimes it might be a previous experience I had with somebody that just didn't go right, or if I really don't like their music, it's going to be hard for me to want to do anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's purely like just a business transaction. You'd be like, well, this isn't enough to make me get in my
course.
room and work. You know?
Right.
So that, it can go different ways. I mean, there's people I give records to for free because I just love what they're doing.
Right.
Because it all comes out in the end. Like, you get
it's all-
paid too much for something you probably didn't deserve sometimes too.
It's all kind of case by case, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like
We haven't actually. There's a couple people that we're probably gonna do something with that want us to jump on stuff, but we just don't make that much music really, like as Tuxedo. So it's kind of hard to really sit down and
we
do
did
like
do a record with
particular
Pitbull
record.
though. That was I think that was kind of a shock to everybody.
That was a
Yeah,
shock,
so-
yeah.
Yeah.
But that was
Talk about
more.
how that happened.
The Pitbull thing was more of like we put our song on SoundCloud. Somehow he discovered it, and
He just
we
really
kinda-
loved it.
He just
and
wanted to sample it.
He
so.
wanted to be involved with it somehow, and
They actually wanted to sign us too. Which is
right.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
So how does that change things then? You start getting Pitbull fans showing up? Or
You know
like-
what's so funny about it? I don't think any of our fans even know about that
I
version.
don't know. I don't know if they
We
do.
just play our version, and that's the one to them. So
I don't know. Yeah, I think we felt like that. Maybe. We just
maybe
felt like
we-
there was very little crossover in
Yeah.
the audiences. That maybe it'd be good for us to actually get some exposure to
Because,
his
I mean-
audience.
Yeah.
and we didn't go into creating a track for him or whatever. We
Right.
were just doing our thing, and I think that's how it's going to be anytime.
Right. That's a big deal, actually. I mean, I guess that's kind of the main thing. Is like
As long as we're doing our thing.
we're not gonna do somebody else's thing.
Yeah.
But if somebody comes to us and they're like, "We want to get down with the Tuxedo thing," then
that's always
that's
cool to us.
that's cool, man.
Sure. And what about as Mayer Hawthorne? How do you look at those kind of collaboration opportunities?
I'm doing a bunch of them right now.
Yeah.
That I'm super excited about. And a lot of them are like things that just I think people just wouldn't expect me to do. I'm doing like a '90s house kind of track right now with this
Okay.
guy. I just did one with Detroit Swindle too. That was actually like a pretty big joint on Europe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's nice for me. It's cool because again, like I really do listen to all that kind of stuff and I love it. And I rarely get a chance to venture out that far.
Right.
Sure.
So if somebody comes to me, it's 100% about the song. Like I don't necessarily even care that much who you are. It's like
Right.
if the song is great
Yeah.
and I I really like it, then I'm doing it.
And what about on your own material? Like, you've produced, your own records, and then you've worked with other producers on stuff. Is there a magic formula to that, or do you have a preference?
Yeah, I think it kind of goes in cycles. I'm like, my last record, I did hardly any of the production on, and I had, I worked with all these incredible guys like Greg Wells and Pharrell Williams and Oak and Pop and Jake One, and it's definitely really nice to have somebody doing 50% of the work. I'll say that, because when you're producing a whole record yourself and writing all the songs and playing everything and tracking it all, I mean, it's just it's a lot of work, man.
For sure.
It takes forever, Holmes.
How do you guys stay motivated if you're doing all of that? I could see how that could get exhausting.
I mean, it's funny, like when something feels good, you just keep going with it. You'll give up on something real quick if, the idea just doesn't really click in the beginning. And I know, like with a lot of our songs, like if it doesn't feel good off the first 10 seconds, then it's just not going to.
Just like, let's try something else.
But and it's more because of the kind of music we're doing and what it's supposed to be is fun.
I feel like that
give you that feel.
We have the reason that we're able to do that though is because we have two of us.
Yeah, it's true.
So that if we want to just like scrap something and just start another thing, we can just do it really fast. I mean,
because a lot of times I'll just it's funny, for one, that on the new album we did a song where we actually did everything together in the studio for once from the beginning. Actually, I think we started it on a train or something, but that was even different, to like do a record where we made the beat together and we came up with the chorus together.
Yeah.
Usually I'll kind of make a track and then he'll be like, I got something, or he'll write it wherever he's at, and then we'll get in a room and then finish the song. So, it is different. Like, I make a bunch of tracks, some of them we're going to hit them, some of them we're not.
Right.
So, and it's the same way with me with my rap stuff.
I mean, a lot of times it's like, we'll start with like an idea that he came up with too, and then by the end of it, we'll end up with a totally different song, but like it was the idea that sparked the whole thing, There's really, I don't know, to
There's
quote.
no exact way to
quote, to quote one of my favorite rappers of all time, Jamal Bufford, the formula is not having a formula.
Right.
Nice.
It sounds like that, for sure.
So since you guys both kind of started in hip hop and have that, so do you remember your introduction to hip hop?
Absolutely, I remember my introduction to rap music. It was LL Cool J's "Bigger and Deffer" on cassette tape, and I still know all the words to that tape.
Where'd you get it?
I got it from my homie that skateboarded with me in my neighborhood, this guy Chris. He was like a little older, and his parents would let him buy the rap tapes because my parents wouldn't let me buy them. They had like explicit lyrics and stuff, and I was too young for that. I don't even know how old I was, and I mean I was probably
85.
8 or 9 years old or something. And I was like this little punk kid skateboarding around my street, and I had to borrow the tape from my homie that skateboarded with me.
Nice.
How'd you listen to it?
On my Walkman, my Sony Walkman.
In a corner, like outside.
Or I might have had like a little boom box or something. I don't know. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I definitely remember my Sony Walkman though.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And was that
with the
like
belt clip and everything?
Did you have the yellow one?
I did have the yellow one. Yeah, I had the black one first though. Just the raw ass, like the one that only could play. You couldn't even like.
I'm trying to get the chrome one. You remember the old school chrome one?
Yeah, sure, yeah. The one that like clipped over the top. Yeah.
And so was that like did you have a moment when you realized that was like a different type of music?
Oh, dude, yeah, it was like this is for me. Yeah. I was like, this is music for me. I was like, this music is gonna drive my parents nuts. This is what I want.
Nice. Jake, what about you?
Well, the first rap record that I actually owned that was my own was the Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 album. I don't know what the album is called. I can just picture it, but it had like the song "It's Nasty." I think that's like 83.
Yeah, it might have been
7.
Genius of Love or
Yeah, it was
Grandmaster Flash on
it
the Wheels
was
still.
It was that
Yeah.
that era. Anyways,
Love that track.
the people that babysat me when I was a kid, they had like an older son, and he was always playing this Sugar Hill records. I just remember a label more like the Baby Blue. So I talked my dad in to get me the record, and he did. My dad was real supportive of all that kind of stuff. Like, he's just a hippie on some like fuck the system shit. So
Yeah.
Right.
I think he loved that, rap was just so, anti everything and just different. He didn't like rap music at all, but he liked that I was so
Sure, what it
into
stood for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it feels like, the creative journey can be lonely sometimes when your parents totally see another view,
Yeah.
religious, or they don't like music at all. So
I played Ghostface Killer for my mom, and she wanted to like move me to a different state.
that's amazing. So like, how do you balance that, where like who guides you through like that creative process? Because that to be a producer, to be a singer, that's a hard road,
I mean, just like my homies in school that I played sports with. Those were the guys that I played basketball with and stuff, like, because they all loved that music too, and we just shared that bond, and all of our parents hated it, but like, I don't know, that was part of the reason why we loved it so much.
So what about now when you make music? Is there a listener in your mind that, like, are you picturing somebody that you write for?
It's not the listeners usually.
No, you know what? I don't know. I just don't work like that. Like I can only write what I know, and I write music that I would want to listen to. And that's it.
That's exactly it.
I just don't, I feel like if anytime I try to like write for somebody else, it's just like, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's
It just doesn't feel natural.
as a producer, I'll have, I'll get somebody's, like my publishing A&R will be like, man, you got to make something like this for Jay or whoever. And I'm not good at that. I just kind of make what I make, what I like to make, and then it ends up where it ends up. Tuxedo's the only thing that I even make something specific for. Everything else is just.
But even that is like, the Tuxedo is.
It's still what I want to hear, though.
It's just we're making what we really want to ride around and listen to in the car. Like,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
He can even like tell if it's something I did totally on my own or if I use keyboard. It's like that's you. I just know.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, at this point, we just know each other's feelings.
So obviously that creative freedom, is really important to you guys, right? And talk a little bit about the difference.
It's important, man.
So you've worked with indie labels, with majors. How's that different?
Definitely the creative control and the freedom is kind of the big difference, and then just like, the amount of financial support behind you.
Sure.
So you have to, it's a catch-22. Do you
Right.
Do you want to do all this on your own and just hope it catches, or do you want somebody behind you spending a ton of money,
You want somebody giving you a
cash
bunch
on.
of money, but also in your ear
Lots
the
of
whole time,
stipulations.
talking
Right.
about, it should be more. It should be like this.
And it's like, once you get to a certain point of success, they can't tell you shit.
Right.
But it's really hard to get to that point.
Definitely,
I'm still trying to find
definitely
it.
the best feeling though is doing it on your own and having it be successful, and then having people come to you.
They have to come to you.
They gotta come to you.
That's
and
really
do it
the way
on your terms.
it's supposed to happen.
But it's not. It's a really difficult. It's a difficult path, man.
Yeah.
It definitely is not an easy one.
So you've been on tour with some pretty cool artists, Bruno Mars, Foster the People, who I love, Erykah Badu. What does that do for your growth as an artist?
Oh man, that's definitely like how I learned almost everything that I know is just from, watching other people perform and just grilling other people, asking, how do you do this? It's like, because I didn't really have, my dad was a musician, and he still plays bass and sings in a band better than me in Michigan to this day.
Nice.
And he's amazing, but he didn't really he was completely self-taught too, and he didn't have any real like music industry experience, or and he never really toured or anything, and so I didn't really have anybody to like show me that stuff. I just kind of had to learn it all through trial and error, and I just screwed up a lot, and then learned from it.
So give us a screw up or something where let's not do that again.
I mean, I feel like almost 100% of singing is just completely counterintuitive. Like pretty much everything that you naturally want to do is wrong, and that's tough. And then like a lot of that stuff I had to learn through trial and error, and even just the way that you use your vocal cords and your diaphragm, and the way that you're supposed to breathe, and head and middle and chest voice, and
right.
It's all just it's hard.
Right.
It's not I'm not I never sang in like the school choir or any of that stuff, or in my synagogue. So
Right.
I just didn't have, nobody ever taught me those things. So
Right.
Yeah.
Any feedback you guys have ever received that you like constantly share till today?
Man, the thing that I always just come back to every time is just have fun, man.
Yeah.
It's just fun is just
That's a good one.
having fun is just such. It seems so.
It seems
simple
so obvious, but
and
it
so
really is.
obvious, but like it's so easy to forget sometimes, especially when you're like in the major label system.
Well,
and
once you get to a certain point of
when
success,
you really are, when you because the music business is extremely unfortunately 99% business and 1% music, and that is like just the sad
So
truth of it, but it's the truth.
So
sometimes that is just like really hard to get around.
Yeah.
But having fun is the key to everything.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
It really is.
So when have you found yourself saying, this is not fun, and like let's go, let's not do this?
I mean, that's gonna happen all the time because it
That's
literally
that's
is work.
Jake every time we do a show, go on tour somewhere.
It's work to leave your house, It's work to get on a plane.
Right.
But there's
Yeah.
work, and then there's
Yeah.
like this is not working.
I don't know, man. I mean,
I think-
I've had such a easy
We've been pretty
way,
lucky.
and even with Tuxedo, like we literally made a record that we thought we were only really making for us, and somehow we've gone around the world on it, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It just honestly, the lesson I got from it was like you really just got to do what you like, because I spent time doing things that I wasn't all the way in on, and I didn't amount to shit. So I mean,
Right. Yeah, people
If
really dig it.
if you're just like really, if you're not having fun doing it, then nobody else is gonna have
Right.
fun listening to it, or or going to see you do it live. It's like, so you really just have. I mean, it's just so important, man. It seems like such a, stupid, simple thing, but like,
it is really hard to keep that though. I think once you hit a certain level of success
Right.
and you start comparing yourself to other people that you're around that might be
Start
more
trying to-
successful,
right.
you're trying to compete with them,
or you
you
start
lose focus of where you were when you started. And when you started, all you really wanted to do was make records and have people appreciate
start
it.
trying to please other people.
Yeah, it's funny. I heard an interview with this big TV producer, and he was saying basically that. He was saying, you go, the executives are going to have notes for you. Everyone's going to tell you. And he said, at the end of the day, if your show doesn't work, it's going to get canceled. No matter if you followed all their instructions
Right.
and that. So you might as well make the show that you want to make.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if it gets canceled,
If it gets canceled, at least you're like, yeah, I made the show I wanted to make, and it didn't work, but it was what I wanted.
Because
to do.
most of the people that I've encountered that are even high level executives in the music business, their whole thing is basically just hedging their bets. They're just throwing stuff against the wall, and when something starts going, they just attach themselves to it a lot closer. Everybody wants to claim the hit, every time. Now, when something they were behind totally flops, it's like they didn't even know that.
Right. Oh, that's tough.
Oh yeah, I wasn't involved in that.
It's like, no, that was his project.
Of course.
They play hot potato real fast.
Have you had mentors that have helped you along the way?
Yeah, I've had a lot of, more in producing, a lot of guys that have kind of shown me the way. It's hard being from Seattle. There wasn't really anybody there that had done this before, so I didn't really have a person I could say, what do I do when I encounter this? But there's guys like Denon Porter, or he was a big one. He really connected me with some people that he didn't have to. That really kind of launched my career.
Porter from Detroit.
He's coming today I think, to the rehearsal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I haven't talked to that dude in a minute.
Nice.
But yeah, and I take being a mentor pretty seriously because I'm at an age now where I have a lot of younger guys that look up to me. So I just try to be real with them, man. They don't always want to hear it, but
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
So
the best.
I feel like I have to be.
Yeah.
So what's something that, what's a young kid going to get out of being mentored by you?
Number one, I just tell them if you make good music, everything else is going to sort itself out. So don't worry about all this other shit. And then, once you do get some money, don't spend it.
Well,
Pay your taxes.
Don't waste it anyway.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
blow it on.
Hold tight on that money because you never know when you
Yeah,
get
man.
another check.
For sure.
Can I get some Twitter questions in here?
Oh, yeah, Twitter's blowing
Dude,
up
our
with you
Twitter
guys.
blew up. First of all, from Almond Joy 1814. Do you have a famous dish you make all the time?
The best thing that I make all the time is banana cream pie. I make a mean.
You make banana cream pie?
A really mean banana cream
That
pie.
is
yeah.
amazing.
That I've been perfecting the recipe for years.
Sir.
That's awesome.
I do, man. I've
Let's
been
see.
like yeah.
That's awesome.
Chef Hawthorne has been in the kitchen lately, though.
Nice.
I've been going hard in the paint.
He's got a mean Le Creuset set. Like he's hardcore.
Oh, right. Dang, you are hardcore. I don't even have that.
I'm in there, dude.
Nice.
I'm getting my Indian butter curry, butter chicken curry recipe down right now.
Love it.
And then the other one is any favorite restaurants outside of the U.S. by Almond Joy 1814.
Outside of the U.S.,
Yeah.
man, I was just in Paris for a couple weeks and I found one of my new favorites. It's called Bouillon Chartier. And it's like a really, really old school
Okay.
Parisian. It's
I'm
like
like,
really,
I'm
really
gonna write
French food. It's like very, very traditional French food, but it's not pretentious at all. It's like super, you know.
Pretentious. This
It's
sounds-
not. It really isn't. It's like you can go in there and it's cheap. It's not even expensive. It's like kind of like a working class place that's been there for 100 years.
That's one of the things I liked about, seeing you do your thing. So we went on tour, or you went on tour, and, we brought Mazda in as a sponsor. We did the Mayer Hawthorne tour
That
featuring
was
Mazda
revolutionary,
2.
man.
2010, 11?
Yeah, 10 or 11. Yeah, one of those. Yeah,
One of those, yeah.
right after How Do You Do? Yeah,
That's right. And,
that was the tour for How Do You Do? Yeah.
yeah. So, I want to talk about that because that was, our first opportunity to work together.
Mm-hmm.
And, but, one of the things you did on that tour was the Mayor versus Food.
Yeah.
And, I like the fact that, so, you're into food, you're on the road, man's got to eat when you're traveling. And
Yeah, well, the idea behind that really was like I was gonna do that anyway. So that's what I do when we go on the road. The
Yelp and record store.
yeah, the very first thing is where are we gonna eat, and then the second thing usually
That's my question.
is where is the record store.
Right.
So
Awesome.
I'm gonna be going to these awesome restaurants that I love anyway, and so I may as well just film it and let people know.
Yeah,
Right.
I thought it was great. And, some of them weren't fancy. A lot of them, was
No,
the burger spot or the,
Right? Yeah.
the
I mean, one of my favorite probably my favorite restaurant in the world is Lafayette Coney Island in downtown Detroit. And it's chili dogs. I mean,
Nice.
that's what it is.
yeah.
You're eating there for less than $10 every time.
That's amazing.
One last question,
It's all about the experience.
and this is to the both of you from @officialbaxer. Okay. What did you think about while creating the album, and what helped set the tone for it?
I think a lot of what we were thinking about was, just trying to really combine G-funk and
Right.
in the boogie, in a tasteful way.
Yeah, it
and
was
just
basically trying to mash up those. Yeah, I mean, trying to take the early '80s like post-disco boogie funk stuff that we really loved. That was how we initially met. Even was that we
both
we
into
met
the
at a
same
rap
thing.
show and we exchanged these mixtapes, and neither one of the mixtapes had any rap on them. It was all like early '80s disco funk stuff.
What show was it?
It was in
I
Seattle.
think it was at this place called what's the place called again?
It wasn't.
It's in Fremont, Nectar.
Yeah,
Nectar
that's
Lounge.
right. Nectar Lounge. Yeah. And that was so. I don't know. Yeah, we were trying to. Initially, we started just like trying to make music that was in that vein, and then I think when we realized that we could take like, the Nate Dogg G-Funk era stuff that we loved and mash it up in there, that it just turned it into something new and amazing.
Nice. All right, that's it for Twitter, but I just want to give you guys a compliment from the real Sham I Am. Those drums on those records, they're amazing.
I mean, if the drums aren't hitting, then it's not
not a good
it's
song.
not a good song. I mean, it's just that's
We might
That's
come out with
number
the
one.
DJ Mustard remix album and just take the drums out. And put a clap on there.
just a snap. Yeah,
Nice.
Every song.
yeah.
So going back to those records from the early '80s, what are give us a couple favorites?
I mean,
That
Bernard,
really-
Bernard
definitely
Wright.
Bernard
Nard is
Wright.
one of them.
Nard is the name of the album. What the Richie
I mean,
fam?
yeah, Richie Family, I'll Do My
I'll do
Best.
my best for you, baby.
Roger, Many Faces of Roger.
Sure, yeah.
Essential. All the Zap stuff.
All the Roger and Zap stuff.
I mean,
And then,
Uncle Jam's Army, obviously.
yeah, Parliament is a huge one. I mean, anything George Clinton.
A lot of it, it's funny. It's a lot of times it'll be like an artist that,
It was really obscure stuff that was on our mixtapes, Yes.
or
I
it
mean,
might even be a familiar artist that that
Right,
fell off, but then they had
right.
to make a song hot for
like
the times.
like the
Like the OJ song.
the OJays, yeah, Put Our Heads Together, which is like a song that we play almost every night, and every time we play it, somebody comes up and is
Like,
like,
what is that?
Who is this? And
They'll
they're
think
all
like, oh, man,
they're
this
always
sounds crazy.
expecting it's going to be some like rare, $400 boogie record.
Oh, it's the
It's the OJs.
That's amazing. Yeah, and I saw you guys posted the mixtapes.
Yeah. And we've been putting mixes
on
up from our
SoundCloud.
shows. too.
Yeah, we've been recording almost every time we DJ, and we put a lot of them up just for people to jam to.
Nice.
Cool.
So let's go back to the Mazda thing for a minute. I want to talk about, what works for you in terms of working with brands. I know we did something, for Tuxedo. We brought New Amsterdam vodka onto
for the video, right.
help subsidize the video,
Right,
right?
yeah.
And so, look, I think, we all understand that, brands need to reach fans.
Right. Yeah.
The music industry needs money, needs financial support. I mean,
Yeah, we really
the
do.
business is what it is, right? So that's kind of the opportunity. What I'm interested in is how does that, when does it work, and what are the things, like what would feel like selling out?
We were just
you.
talking about it. I don't think I could do like an Army commercial or
Okay.
anything involving the Army just feels wrong to me.
Sure.
Something like that. Cigarettes,
Yeah, cigarettes
not
is
good.
a tough one to get around. I mean, I was telling him that, when we go over to Indonesia and do shows, like I first, for whatever really strange reason, I have a lot of fans in Indonesia. And
Wow.
we go over there, multiple times a year usually and do shows, and the entire Indonesian economy is funded by the cigarette companies out there, and it's really hard for me because I won't, I'm not a fan, and I won't associate myself with the cigarette brands, and you know, a lot of times that it makes it difficult to do a show down there. Period.
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't know, but in general, I think it's really just about finding something that
fits and makes
I mean,
sense.
it has to make sense.
So what about
If
beyond
it
the
doesn't
product?
make sense, you know, then it's just like it's not good
it's
for
a lose
either.
for everybody,
It's a lose
yeah.
for everybody, right?
So and beyond the product, right? Is there a, you know, could be a product you like, but the relationship has to work too, right? Like what you're doing for each other kind of has to fit.
For me personally, I guess, you know, with brand partnerships and with anybody else, if you know, even if it's like a producer that I'm working with, I really lean toward people who just have like a positive attitude about things. Yeah. I just don't like negativity in general.
Yeah.
That's as simple as that for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, when, you know, think about the Mazda situation. So they loved you, first of all, because at the time you were driving a Mazda.
I was.
To them,
You were driving a Mazda.
that was a big deal to them,
I
right?
drove
Because
a Mazda for long after
Hell
that.
years,
too.
hell years.
That's amazing.
yeah, and you know, that was a big deal to them because it felt authentic, right?
Yeah.
It felt like they were supporting somebody who's been supporting them, and there was something there. And then, you know, the other side, we looked at it like, you know, Mayer Hawthorne is a underground artist, right? Has a really serious fan base, but is not, you know, a mainstream act. And Mazda kind of saw itself as the same kind of thing in the car world, right? So there was something there. And then the last part, though, is that, you know, we already knew each other. We had a relationship with Jackson and your team, and I knew that, you know, it was going to be easy to work together, right? And I think, you know, we've all seen probably on both sides where that's not easy.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, you can, you know, it's funny. I know, you know, I've dealt with people that have been on top and they were such, you know, assholes.
yeah,
The people couldn't wait to see them fall so they could just step on them, you know? And it's like, that really will happen, you know?
yeah,
Right.
And you can get away with certain behavior when you are hot, but, you know,
In general,
everybody cools down.
And the entertainment industry, it is just so small.
Yeah,
that
it really is.
You are always going to see that person again at some point down. If you stick around,
yeah.
you are going to see those people.
That's why
again.
you got to be nice to the
You
interns,
just
Right.
to
cannot
everybody.
be out here burning bridges, man.
I am-
That's just like the number one rule.
When
Even if you're like, you know, if you're just not feeling a situation, man, you just gotta like, you gotta be cool about it. You just can't be an asshole out here.
right.
Yeah.
When
It's
somebody
gonna come back.
when
to
you see an artist
Yeah.
sell out, does that change like your perception on working with them?
You know, the funny thing, we had another conversation just about the term selling out, right?
what that even means anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
It changes, right?
when we came up, you know, we were young in the 90s, right?
Right.
High school era. So
And we came from like,
everybody, man, it was selling out. You had a singer on your song.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
that, you know,
we
back
came from
back
an era of like really hardcore
let alone
rap
have
music.
a sponsorship, right?
Right,
So
right.
it's such a weird time that, you know,
If you use,
you can't even criticize somebody's success
if
right
you
now.
use the
without
impeach
looking
the
back.
president snare, you sold out.
Yeah.
'Cause that was like pop.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. It's a moving target, right? And I think
I feel like kids nowadays just
They do not
they
care.
don't care
No.
at
They're just
all
like, you know
anymore.
what? I like what you. I don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
That's
care
so
about
interesting
anything
you
else.
said that because microphone check NPR. Ali Shaheed Muhammad said that exact
Yeah.
same thing you just said.
Yeah.
Did you guys listen to that episode? Because he
I did
literally
listen to that, but I didn't hear it.
he literally just said that exact same
Yeah.
thing. Like, the kids nowadays just don't care.
Yeah, I think the crowd is over it. Like they don't care, right? What I think is what matters to you.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think if you
It's more a personal
feel like
thing.
you're selling out,
Yeah.
whatever that means.
I mean,
it's
I
gonna come
definitely
across.
do still. I see like.
I see moves people make, but it's just because
I see my followers on Twitter even like when I dyed my hair blonde. Like it was like I lost some people off of that. Like some people unfollowed me off of that. They were like, "Oh no, he sold out. I'm out." That was it. That was the line.
That's the last.
And you know, so obviously like there's definitely still, you know, and the
That's
people that like the people that fell. There's always going to be people that fell in love with a specific thing that you did, and that's how they fell in love with you.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you deviate from that in any way, you're gonna lose them. But you just can't worry about those people, man. Mm-hmm. You just gotta keep doing you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last time I thought somebody sold out. I don't even know.
It's hard now.
I really
Yeah.
No, but it was like for us, like being in hip hop at that time, like that was a constant.
Yeah.
That was an everyday conversation.
We also
It
just
was
know-
more. I felt like it wasn't even necessarily. It was more of a musical choice of being like
Right.
so and so sold out, as opposed to like, oh, he did a deal with St. Ides because we didn't think
Right.
No, we
Ice
didn't
Cube
do-
sold out when he went with St.
No, but
Ides.
when
that was hard.
Hammer, but when Hammer did Popeye's Chicken,
But that was flagrant. Now I don't know if we could do a popcorn chicken ad right now and still win. Maybe because we're not serious like that.
I just think as long as
People
we did
probably
it
be like,
in
"Oh,
our
that's-
way,
yeah."
it would work. Like it's
Yeah.
when you just completely like switch your whole style up
Yeah.
for
Right.
something that
Yeah.
you really are losing.
Yeah, like if you're like an underground person and then all of a sudden you're like doing a Mercedes Benz ad or something. It's like,
Oh, right. Yeah, then that's
not
cool.
you.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's hard. It's definitely harder to sell out now than it was, and it's also I don't know from our perspective. I just feel like a lot of people, from like your average fan has no idea how hard it is to make money in music.
Yeah.
right?
And we know how impossible it is to make $1 at this. So like we don't look at anybody wrong for like we don't look at anybody sideways for getting the
Yeah.
check.
Right.
I might laugh. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean,
oh yeah, he
We're
got
just
he got
like,
that
yeah,
check.
you can't fault that person. You're just
Get
like,
that.
hey man,
Yeah.
get that paper. I'm like happy for some people.
I think it's more, it really
happy
is
for everybody.
coming from an
Who's
authentic
able
place
to make
when
money
you're
off of
making
this.
the record. All the rest of the stuff that happens is
Right.
is just business.
Hard out here.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Are there partnerships that you've seen, like be obviously understanding that they got to check, but that you're like, yeah, that works. Like I can see why.
I thought this recent thing Nas is doing with Hennessy kind of makes sense. It's like a cool, and it's just cool to hear like the song on the commercial.
At
like
least,
for me,
at least it wasn't.
And they picked a good-
Pacquiao. That was one that did not make sense.
And Hennessy?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Manny
But I mean, you're
Pacquiao
hearing-
and Hennessy.
you're hearing like New York State of Mind on a commercial. That's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Nas and Hennessy makes a lot of sense. That's your audience, man.
For sure.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, Hennessy really was fighting that for a long time. They were trying.
They were
so
trying-
hard
trying to be-
fight that.
Like some sort of elite status. but
I'm like,
You
embrace.
can't pick your fans.
Right, you
in
can't
anything.
pick your fans. You just
Right.
you gotta embrace that, man. You
Yeah.
gotta, those people
Be
are-
happy they're there for
right.
you.
You're right, exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
That's cool.
All right. Any questions for us? No. I'm just kidding. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
So give us a quick. What's next for
Yeah.
Tuxedo? What's next for Jake? For Mayer?
Lots of shows. for
Tuxedo, we're heading out on tour. Yeah, we're taking the Tux on tour.
Is it the same tux every show?
No.
No, we
variety.
have
Yeah, that's
many,
good.
many tuxedos.
We have
now.
4 or 5 tuxedos.
Yeah.
Nice. Domestic.
Both.
Yeah, we're doing mostly the U.S. and Canada, and then we're headed to Japan for a little while, and we're doing Asia
in
also.
September.
Yeah,
In
Okay.
Australia.
yeah, right. Oh yeah.
And is there going to be another Tuxedo record?
There is going to
Yeah,
be another
that's already in
Tuxedo
motion,
record.
so.
Yeah, that's man. We're already
Feeling good about what we got so
underway.
far.
Nice.
We're
And,
gonna be playing some new songs.
We always play our new songs
on
with
the
DJ.
tour, even too,
Oh, cool.
even live.
Yeah, that's right.
We have songs that are for the next album that we're already going to be playing in the live show on
Nice.
this tour.
And what's next for Mayer Hawthorne?
I am working on my next album, and it's going really well, man.
Multiple fire emojis.
I definitely have like a really. I can't give anything away yet. I know I really want to, but I have like I really have like a strong. It's not like a concept album, but I know what I'm doing on this
Yeah.
one.
Nice.
That's nice.
All right, cool.
You should know by this time.
Yeah.
I think we should be there.
Well, yeah, it's it's something new, but it's like I definitely am. I'm no longer with Republic Records, Universal. So I'm kind of a free agent right now. So it's giving me more freedom to do what I want,
Nice.
which is nice.
Well, we can't wait to hear what's next.
Yeah.
Where do we find everybody online?
TuxedoFunk.com.
At Tuxedo,
Yeah.
at Jake Uno, and at Mayer Hawthorne.
At Mayer Hawthorne.
Nice.
Nice. Okay.
All right. Thanks for doing this.
Boom.
Fucks with the Tux.